Hey guys, it's the Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse New 52 Superhero Static Shock, which, hot take, I think this figure's pretty effing bussin', but a lot of you guys back in the day when this guy came out were poo-pooing on it for some reason. Probably because it didn't look like a freaking cartoon, but we'll talk about that in a minute here because, as usual, this is, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, as well as Big and Bad Toy Store, where, you guessed it, got them on clearance for a whopping $10. Really? We're really doing this? Alright, Big Bad Ollies. So, with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase, get to the meat and taters of this review, and take a look-see at all Superhero Static Shock has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the collectible trading card. With the bio on the back. Now, if I wasn't trying to do these reviews a lot quicker, since last year, I'd whip my reader out and go into that more, but we don't have time for that. I gotta roast some people. That said, he does come with a couple of effect parts. Right here, these little lightning doodads, which, you know, he comes with powers. A couple of them. And then he comes with his flying platform, which I guess in the cartoon was a, like a trash can lid. Some lightning under it. This is clearly a kind of honeycomb helix looking thing, which I don't mind. It's cool. Gets the job done. The only thing I mind is that it only has one peg. What are we doing here? So, 2 pegs next time, if there is a next time, because they did lose a license, would be nice. So, taking him off of this. I'll keep up this PlayStation where you sing with all McFarlane Toys releases, which, hey, by the way, if you really don't care, put a handle on this thing, and boom, there's your trash can lid. Really not that complicated. But here is Static. I guess looking like Whoopi Goldberg. I think some of you guys need glasses, because what was it? Wonder Woman looked like Michael Jackson, although to me she looked more like Cher. And then this guy, I guess, looks like Whoopi Goldberg, which I'm assuming anyone who said that went and voted for the Crazy Orange Man on Election Day and are now complaining about it on their Instagrams, Facebooks, and X's. So, screw you, you would-be hack. That said, on top of the fact that I don't think he looks like Whoopi Goldberg, I don't mind this figure at all, especially for $10. I think he's pretty cool. I don't recognize any of these parts. I think these are all new. Granted, the plastic jacket's a blast to the past for this line. It would have been nice to have a soft goods one, but beggars can't be choosers. And when was the last time we got a Static Shock figure? I remember Mattel did a Justice League Unlimited Static Shock in the 4-inch line, where he was like an old man with like a beard and stuff. He kind of looked like Whistler from Blade. Spider-Man animated Whistler, not the Chris Christopherson Whistler. But he was on the same Justice League as like Batman Beyond and Warhawk and Micron, and there was some chick too. But other than that, I don't remember if there was any other Static Shock figures available. Maybe there was some for the TV show, but you know, I wasn't around really when that show was popular. I mean, I was, but I was too young to really comprehend a lot of things still. I was a wee lad, as they say. That said, a lot of people really wanted this to look like the cartoon. The NECA Toys Gargoyles lines taught us anything. The first time you get a character, probably not going to be the version you want. I guess that could be said about Marvel Legends too, but you know, not everything can be like the freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where there are multiple options of each iteration, except for the best iteration, 03. And I will die by that sword, and I don't care if you like it or not. This is my channel, sucker. You're gonna have to deal with my opinions if you want to watch these videos. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate side to side, look up and down a little bit. I will say, I would have liked the animated style hair, but he does have his dreads, his short dreads there. Looking like he belongs in a new metal band. Looking like he belongs in like Seven Dust or something. Shoulders will go up about that far, back down, rotate all the way around. Swivel at the bicep, double elbow. A little janky-panky, but not terrible. He's got ball hinge wrists that will rotate, hinge, and swivel. A little swivel in the wrist there, but not a lot. He also has a little bit of play in the torso. He's got an upper, I think he's got an upper torso joint. That or it's just really stiff. But he's got the upper torso movement, but it's very limited. Gets a little bit of forward and back, but not a ton. He gets a little bit of forward and back in the waist too, but not a ton. He gets some twist in the waist. That's really where you're going to get your twist. This diaphragm is pretty locked, at least on mine, so maybe if I hit that with some heat, it'll work a little better, but as it stands, yeah, you're not going to get a lot out of that. His hips will kick forward, back, out, down. He's even got thigh cut, for crying out loud. That was kind of rare at this point in time for this line. If I'm not mistaken, the Blue Beetle Booster Gold 2-pack was either just starting to hit or not out yet. So that was the body that really changed DC Multiverse and made it a carbon copy of Mattel's DC Classics with better articulation, of course. Not an idiot. He's got double knee. That works pretty good. Then he's got the ball hinge ankles that will rotate, hinge, pivot, and then he's got the toe joints that are pretty substantial on both sides, I think. Yep. Pretty substantial indeed. So, yeah, I like this figure, man. I don't know what to tell you. It makes me want to go and check out the Static Shock TV show if it's still on HBO Max, because for whatever reason, HBO Max has no testicles and just keeps surrendering all the Cartoon Network stuff and like the Kids WB stuff to like every other streaming service like Hulu and Amazon and Netflix, and forget where Ben 10 went. It was some weird one I never heard of before. But either way, I hope I can check this show out, because there is one episode where the Justice League actually appears. I think it's called The League of Their Own. I'm very curious how that episode turns out. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Superhero Static Shock alongside a couple other characters from the new 52 we've recently gotten from the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys' DC Multiverse line. We have Mr. Terrific and Power Girl, both of which are collector editions with soft goods. It's been interesting to see what Static Shock would have been with some soft goods, but that's neither here nor there. I like him as he is. And, you know, if we've gotten more new 52 characters in recent memory, I just don't have them yet. You know, this channel's based off what I have, not somebody else. So there you go. That said, that Power Girl is absolutely freaking massive. Makes me worried for that Hot Girl. It's like she'll be big enough to take out a shelf of figures. Moving them out of the way so we can bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legions by the Mandibolith. Careful, don't bop Static over while you drop your darn mace. Oh, look at that, gotta back up. That's what she said. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, we're just gonna say he towers over everyone, because Static Shock is just a teenager after all. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and quit picking on my boy Static, man. A, he doesn't look like Whoopi Goldberg, to me at least, and B, I gotta tell ya, I'm not one to boast about my posing of action figures on this channel, but while I may not be D-amazing or anyone like that, for someone who's visually impaired, not too shabby, if I do say so myself. I am genuinely proud of this pose, with a figure that, for some reason, a lot of people didn't like. I mean, it's the new 52 version of Static Shock, alright. Maybe that's why they wanted the cartoon version. Well, if the NECA Toys Gargoyles line has taught us anything, you're never going to get the version of the character you want first, so you might as well quit your bitching and deal with it. Alright? That said, I wasn't knocking D Amazing. I just know a lot of people like him because he can pose figures pretty well. I respect that, but, yeah. No beef with him, alright? So don't go saying stupid crap in my comments, or else you'll get the boot out the back door, and I'll close it and lock it on you, and you'll freeze to death, because it's still kind of cold up here in upstate New York. Where am I going with this? I don't know. I just like this figure. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later.